And from that day onwards, he just said, just kick on, just play with a smile on your face, enjoy the game.
A boy once written off by some of England's biggest academies is now one of the Premier League's most electrifying forwards. That's the rise of Antoine Semenyo. Rejected by Arsenal, Tottenham, Millwall and even Crystal Palace after an 8-week trial, he nearly walked away from football entirely until a single lifeline from SGS College put him back on the path to greatness. From those overlooked beginnings, he fought his way into Bristol City's academy, battled through England's unforgiving lower leagues, and evolved into a powerhouse attacker, now valued at 75 million euros, wearing Manchester City's colours and shining proudly for the Ghana national team. This is a story built on resilience, hunger, and a rise no one predicted. But everyone respects now. Let me give you a little backstory. Antoine Semenyo was born on a cold January morning in Chelsea, London, a child woven from Ghanaian, Togolese, and French heritage, raised in a home where ambition pulsed like a drumbeat beneath daily life. His father, Larry Semenyo, a former Ghanaian midfielder, carried the game in his veins, while his mother offered steady support that grounded the household. Antoine didn't grow up alone in this fire. Beside him stood his younger brother, Jai Semenyo, a fellow footballer whose presence pushed him forward like a shadow that refused to fall behind. From the beginning, football was more than a sport. It was the Semenyo family language. Antoine and Jai sharpened each other the way iron sharpens iron, chasing balls across concrete and grass, each kick echoing a shared dream. But while the passion came naturally, success did not. Antoine's early journey felt like running uphill with the wind in his face. Trials with Arsenal, Tottenham and Millwall slipped through his fingers, and Crystal Palace's rejection, after 8 long weeks, struck him like a cold wave crashing over a cracking shoreline. For a moment, the dream flickered, fragile as a candle in a draught. Then, when the path seemed to crumble, Dave Hockaday appeared, a coach who saw what others missed. He invited Antoine into the youth program at South Gloucestershire and Stroud College, a place far removed from polished academies but perfect for rebuilding a bruised spirit. There, among modest pitches and relentless drills, Antoine's confidence began to rise again, slow and steady, like sunlight returning after a heavy storm. His journey into the football world truly took shape in 2017 when Bristol City finally recognised what so many clubs had missed and brought him into their academy. By January 2018, he signed his first professional contract, marking the moment that his dream shifted from distant hope to grounded reality. But Semenyo didn't grow by comfort. He was sharpened through challenge. Bristol City sent him into the rough and ready world of lower league football, where potential is tested like metal in fire. At Bath City, he burst forward with 6 goals in 16 matches, striking with the confidence of a young player finally tasting momentum. That momentum carried into his time at Newport County, where he shifted from striker to winger and discovered a new edge to his game. He scored his first senior goal in a 4-1 EFL Cup victory over Cambridge United, a moment that felt like a door cracking open at last. His performance in Newport's remarkable FA Cup upset over Leicester City showed he could stand tall even among Premier League giants, like a rising tide brushing against a higher shore. A stint with Sunderland then added maturity and steel, shaping him under the weight of a club with immense expectation. Returning to Bristol City, he was no longer the raw teenager who had left. In the 2020-21 season, he scored his first Bristol City goal in a decisive EFL Cup victory against Exeter City and began threading assists with growing confidence. His rise earned him a 4-year contract, a sign that he had become essential to the club's future. His leap to the Premier League came in January 2023, when AFC Bournemouth secured him for over €10 million. Here, his game exploded. With over 101 appearances and 30 goals, Semenyo became known for explosive runs, powerful strikes, and a work rate that hit defenders like a sudden storm. His dynamic style made him one of the league's most thrilling wide forwards. Then came his defining ascent. In 2026, Manchester City, giants of English football, claimed him for their squad. He responded with 5 goals in his first 8 matches, stepping onto football's highest stage like a man who had been preparing for it all along. Semenyo's legacy stretches beyond club football. Though born in England, he chose to honor his heritage by representing Ghana, debuting in 2022 and earning over 30 caps as a powerful, versatile forward for the Black Stars. His appearance at the 2022 World Cup marked his arrival on the global stage. With 150-plus club appearances, more than 30 goals, and a playing style built on pace, power, and relentless drive, Semenyo's career reflects a fighter's spirit. From overlooked academy hopeful to Manchester City forward, from lower league battles to international pride, his rise shows that some stars aren't discovered. They're forged, like iron shaped under pressure. And as his flame continues to grow, the world watches, knowing the brightest part of his story is still unfolding. Away from football, his personal life is shaped by the quiet strength of the people closest to him. Born into a culturally rich family led by a Ghanaian father and French mother, he grew up surrounded by a warmth that steadied him, much like a lantern glowing through a fog. His father, Larry Semenyo, once a Ghanaian midfielder, carried the rhythm of football in his stride, while his mother nurtured the discipline that followed him into adulthood. Beside him always was his younger brother, Jai, a fellow footballer and loyal companion. Their bond growing like two flames feeding the same fire, each pushing the other to rise higher. As Antoine stepped into adulthood, love found him in an unexpected, effortless way. In 2022, he met Jordine Buckley, a London-based content creator and entrepreneur whose energy matched his ambition. Their connection sparked quickly, the way sunlight spills across a quiet room, soft but impossible to ignore. Jordine was building her own world through J. Rose Nail Bar, and rather than orbit his success, she shone in her own right. Still, their lives intertwined naturally, appearing together at games, on holidays, and in light-hearted videos that showed a side of Antoine fans rarely see. Playful, relaxed, human. Their Paris trip and candid TikToks revealed a couple grounded not in fame but in genuine ease. Their bond deepened until in late 2025, life shifted once again. While recovering from an ankle injury, Antoine paused long enough to create an intimate, unforgettable moment. He proposed to Jordine, choosing the stillness of recovery to step boldly into commitment. She announced the news with a tender message and a verse from the Song of Solomon, her joy shining like a ring catching the light. The world celebrated, seeing not the footballer, but the man behind him, choosing love with the same conviction he carries onto the pitch. Today, their relationship continues quietly but powerfully. They support each other without spectacle. She at his matches, he in her creative ventures, moving together with the ease of two people who don't need grand gestures to prove something already steady. Their shared moments with his brother Jai, or glimpses into daily life, reveal a couple stitched together not by fame, but by presence, loyalty, and respect. Talking about his wealth, today he sits on an estimated fortune ranging between $3 million and £13.2 million, a reflection of both his sporting success and the careful building of financial stability beneath it. His earnings didn't erupt all at once. They gathered momentum slowly, like a river carving its way into something mighty. The turning point came when AFC Bournemouth signed him for just over €10 million, pushing him into Premier League territory, where contracts flow like steady currents of gold. As his performances surged, his weekly income climbed into the £75,000 to £100,000 bracket, a level that placed him firmly among football's modern high earners. But his financial ascent didn't stop there. When Manchester City secured him in 2026, his value skyrocketed, lifting his market worth to between €50 to €55 million and turning him into a commercial asset whose every appearance added weight to his name. With each match, he strengthened not just his sporting legacy, but the foundation of long-term wealth. Surrounding himself with driven, business-minded people adds another dimension to his financial life. His fiancée, Jordine Buckley, runs the thriving London-based J. Rose Nail Bar, a beauty brand growing with the same confident flair she brings into their relationship. Her entrepreneurial world naturally complements his own, creating a home where ambition moves like a shared heartbeat. While the business is hers, it contributes to the couple's rising public image, a foundation for future collaborations, sponsorships, and joint ventures. Semenyo's international presence strengthens his financial influence even further. With over 30 caps for Ghana, every appearance boosts not only his reputation, but his marketability across continents. For brands looking to bridge audiences in Europe and Africa, he represents a dual market force, expanding his earning potential beyond his club salary. All these pieces, Premier League wages, rising market value, national team stature, and proximity to entrepreneurial ventures, form the architecture of Antoine Semenyo's wealth. It's a fortune built not on flash, but on steady growth, like a flame that refuses to burn out, growing brighter with every season. His financial legacy, much like his career, is still ascending. And the higher he climbs, the more expansive the horizon becomes. So far, we've seen how he makes the money. Now let's get into what he spends the money on. First things first, his garage. His garage isn't just a collection, it's a moving autobiography written in roaring engines and polished steel. At the center of it sits his Lamborghini Urus S, a $270,000 powerhouse that fits him like a suit of armor. With its twin-turbo V8 blasting out 657 horsepower and sprinting from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds, the Urus moves with the same explosive force he brings down the wing, as if both man and machine were built to outrun doubt. Resting beside that monster is his Audi R8, a sleek $220,000 masterpiece that mirrors the sharper, refined edge of his game. Delivered by Premier Vehicle Group, the R8 doesn't roar. It sings, slicing through roads with the smooth precision of Semenyo cutting past defenders. But perhaps the jewel of his fleet is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, supplied after his move to Manchester City. Worth around $250,000, it represents the purity of performance, a machine built for precision and adrenaline, much like Semenyo at the peak of his form. Its presence feels symbolic. As he rose to elite status, so did the cars in his life, each one marking a new milestone. Together, these machines tell the story of a man accelerating through his career with the same intensity as his cars. The power of the Urus, the elegance of the R8, and the razor-sharp intent of the GT3 RS. Each one feels like a mirror of a different chapter in his rise, shining just as brightly as the path he's carving in football. Up next, we have his fortress. While many stars showcase their mansions like trophies, Semenyo keeps his living spaces hidden, as if guarding a treasure behind locked gates. What the world can see, however, paints a clear picture. With a fortune estimated between $3 million and £13.2 million, and Premier League wages reaching £75,000 to £100,000 a week, he stands among athletes who could reshape skylines with a single purchase. His transfer to Manchester City, elevating his market value to €75 million, only strengthened the aura around his private world. It is the kind of financial leap that transforms ordinary players into owners of sprawling estates. Yet no photographs leak, no addresses circulate, no grand tour appears online. His silence creates its own intrigue, like a mansion lit from within but shaded by high walls. In a world where fame demands exposure, Antoine Semenyo keeps something sacred for himself. And in that choice, his unseen mansion becomes more captivating than any palace displayed on social media, standing like a private kingdom behind a star who prefers mystery to noise. One of his favorite indulgences is high-end travel, and nowhere is that clearer than his escape to Mykonos, Greece, after the 2024/25 season. Mykonos, where villas often cost $1,000 to $5,000 per night, became his sanctuary, an island of white stone and blue horizons where he and Jordine Buckley enjoyed curated, five-star experiences arranged by a personal travel agent. Their posts showed ocean panoramas, yacht-studded coastlines, and sunlit meals that looked almost too perfect to eat, each moment sparkling like a scene from a luxury film. His spending extends into fashion and personal image, a quieter but unmistakable splurge. Lifestyle features hint at his involvement in fashion collaborations and curated outfits, which often means pieces costing anywhere from hundreds to thousands of pounds. Semenyo carries style the way he carries the ball. Sharp, deliberate, confident, like tailored clothing is just another version of the precision he shows on the pitch. Another luxury woven into his routine is elite wellness, the kind of upkeep reserved for top athletes. His lifestyle coverage reveals investments in training, recovery and conditioning, specialist programs, and advanced treatments that can cost thousands per month, ensuring his body moves like a well-tuned engine. It's less an expense and more an investment, sharpening the physical edge that defines his game. And then there are the experiences, soft-lit dinners by the coast, scenic getaways, and polished holiday moments captured in passing. Jordine's travel posts reveal glimpses of the couple exploring new destinations with ease, indulging in fine dining, luxury excursions, and dreamy landscapes. Their travels feel less like vacations and more like a curated ritual, a way of rewarding themselves for the storm they endure each season. Now for the controversy, the part of Antoine Semenyo's story where calm gives way to storms, and football's spotlight suddenly burns like a torch pointed straight at him. His troubles didn't come from personal scandal, but from the harsh realities of the sport, where tempers flare and prejudice still lurks in the crowd. The most painful episode came during the 2025 Premier League opener at Anfield, when Semenyo stopped play after hearing a racist comment from a spectator. The match was paused, a man was removed, and police opened an investigation. Semenyo later posted the abuse he received online with the heartbreaking message, "When will it stop?" FIFA President Gianni Infantino condemned the incident as absolutely unacceptable, while police later arrested and charged a 47-year-old man. In a moment of poetic resilience, Semenyo struck back the only way he could, by scoring twice in the same match. Then came the heat of competition itself. In December 2025, after Diogo Dalot shoved him in a clash against Manchester United, Semenyo reacted with a frustrated neck push, a spark of anger flashing out like a wire snapping under pressure. Though he received only a yellow card, United fans erupted online, demanding a red and turning the incident into a weekend-long debate. And in another match, a VAR decision involving Semenyo triggered outrage among Manchester United supporters who claim penalty calls were ignored. Social feeds filled with frame-by-frame breakdowns, turning the Semenyo incident into yet another firestorm about refereeing consistency. Through it all, Semenyo never folded. Instead, he responded like steel meeting flame, tested, pressured, and sharpened. His controversies don't paint him as a villain. They reveal the resilience of a player pushed into battles he never sought, but faced with unshakable resolve. And that's the glimpse into Antoine Semenyo's world, a life where elite football meets quiet luxury. From sun-soaked escapes in Mykonos after long Premier League battles to the fashion, fitness, and lifestyle choices that keep him looking sharp and feeling unstoppable, Semenyo shows that success isn't just earned, it's enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and stick around. More stories like this are on the way. See you in the next one.